everyone, my name is Kelly Kopale. I'm an art therapist and program coordinator at the Cancer Support Center. Thanks for joining us for our art therapy video today. Today we are going to do an interactive guided imagery and art activity that's going to be so fun for the whole family. First things first, I want everyone to go and get their materials. So if you can grab a piece of paper, maybe a couple pieces of paper in case you think you might mess up, some markers or crayons or colored pencils or something to decorate color with, and we can go ahead and get started. So I'll give you guys a minute to go and get stuff together. All right, are you back? All right, pause it if you still need some more time. But go ahead and get a piece of paper. You can see mine already has a little bit of a pattern on it, but if you just want to get a blank piece of paper, I put a pattern in there so you can kind of see the middle a little bit better. What we're gonna do first is create a paper airplane. We're going to do this so that we can travel on our adventure to our imaginary destination to enjoy a little bit of relaxation. So go ahead, once you get your piece of paper, hold it up this way, so long ways up and down, and we are going to fold it in half long ways. I think that we might call this hamburger or hot dog. I think this is the hot dog way. So we want to fold it right in half so those corners match up. So this is our step one. So once it's folded in half, you kind of reopen it up and see it's got two even sides. Awesome. Our next step we're going to do is we're going to fold this corner to the middle. We're going to do the same thing on both sides. This is called symmetry. We want the two sides to be symmetrical so that our plane is evenly balanced and can fly super far to our destination. So you want to do the same thing to both sides. So it's going to look like this. And we're going to bend down the other corner to the center. We want them to match up pretty evenly. Look at that. Cool, right? So once you have your plane looking like this, we are going to make some more triangles as well. So I'm going to take this corner and I want it to touch that middle line. I'm going to fold it over to make a big triangle. Pretty cool, right? And we're going to do the exact same thing. So if I can remind you, we just took this, we kind of folded that triangle in half so that that corner hit right to the middle. And we use our hands to straighten that out and make that crease. If you need help from a grown-up to get some of these lines right, feel free to ask. The nice thing is we're also just using paper, so if you need to do a couple tries, that's okay too. So if you have a couple of pieces of paper around, you could always pause the video, rewind, go back to kind of see that step by step. So what you should have after you've folded your pieces is two even triangles to the middle right there. Pretty cool. So essentially, once you have that folded up, you should have already what kind of seems like an airplane that thinks, maybe this will fly pretty far. But what we're gonna do next to make sure that this is a super epic airplane that's gonna fly super far is we're gonna go ahead and fold down the sides to create kind of that wing that we really, like to see. To do that, we're gonna fold our outside down and match up with the line there. So I folded our outside one, folded outside and in half so that it lines up with this bottom line right here. So it creates kind of like a wing. And to the other side, see we haven't done that yet? We're gonna go ahead and do that with that side now. And again, if it's not perfect, that's totally okay too. We want to just do the best that we can. And now, look at that. A paper airplane. Wow, really cool, right? So what I did ahead of time, as you can see, I kind of have a little bit of a pattern on mine, is that was on the middle of mine, so mine's kind of pre-decorated. But what I want all of you to do is, after your plane is made, so that you can see all the parts that are showing, I want you to go ahead and take your markers, your crayons, your pencils, whatever you have on hand, and decorate your plane. Give it a name, go crazy with patterns, colors, whatever you think would just make it your awesome imaginary airplane to go on such a fun adventure with us. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to work on that. I'm gonna name my airplane Air Kelly, naming it right after my name. Setting some patterns to the outside. However you might like. Awesome. So when you're all ready and all done with your patterns, you're done making your art, done relaxing on creating your airplane, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next step. Throwing the paper airplane. If you are in a safe space, a place where you are allowed to do that, go ahead and just take it for a little bit of a spin. See how it goes. All right, I think my test flight went well. Let me go grab my paper airplane. So the test flight went well. Now what we're ready to do is to go on our imaginary relaxing vacation. This is what I'm gonna call guided imagery. This is a really good opportunity if you are maybe cooped up in a hospital room, maybe you're stuck inside because the weather's not great, or maybe you're just needing to relax and chill out for a little bit. You can do something called guided imagery. There's lots of different versions of this online that someone can help you find, but there are also things that we can do today to create our own little imaginary adventure. The first thing that we're gonna do today is to come up with all of the different parts that we're gonna need for our imaginary adventure. So we're gonna pick a place to go to. That's first. And then we're gonna describe what we're gonna see, hear, feel, smell, taste, if that's applicable. We're gonna describe what we're doing, what the weather's like, and who we're there with. And once we have all of those pieces together, we can create that whole image in our brains that's just gonna be so perfect. So go ahead, if you have another piece of paper, go ahead and grab that, and we're gonna start, I'm gonna go ahead and list off the different things that I'm gonna have in our image, but if you wanted to come up with your own place you wanna go to, what you might see there, what you might hear there, feel there, smell, taste, what are you doing, what's the weather like, and who you're with. So think about those questions and go ahead and you can make your own image. If you wanted to pause this here, you could go ahead and describe that out for yourself. But today, for right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give us some of those answers to those questions and then lead you on a little guided adventure in your brain. So today, we're gonna be going to the beach. We are at the beach. Let's think, what are we gonna see there? I think we're gonna see some palm trees, some sand, water, some sand toys, some sand castles maybe, some flip-flops maybe, some towels. So all of these different things. So those are just a couple ideas of some of the things that I might see at the beach. And now what am I gonna hear? I'm imagining that I might hear seagulls, some waves crashing, some people laughing. I might hear some people talking. And now we can move on to like, what do we think we might feel there? Not a question you maybe always think about. Am I gonna feel warm in the sun? Maybe cooled off and refreshed in the water. If you imagine like running onto the beach barefoot and how it might be a little bit hot. So you kind of run really, really fast and you feel that relief when you get to the water. I'm gonna feel maybe a cool breeze that comes through and is so refreshing. When I'm thinking about how I feel, I'm gonna think a little bit about the weather. I think it's gonna be hot, but not too hot, pretty comfortable. But it's definitely gonna be sunny, not a cloud in sight. That beautiful, beautiful blue sky. And then I'm gonna think about what I might smell. Maybe some sunscreen. We all know the smell of that. The smell of some water. Sometimes it has a nice crisp smell, maybe a little bit salty. And then I might also smell the breeze as it comes through on a warm summer day. You can imagine what that smells like. And taste, this is kind of a funny one. But for me, when I think about the beach, what I might taste is maybe a cool ice cream treat or cold popsicle that we get at the beach from maybe the beach house, or from maybe my family packs it in a cooler so that I can refresh and taste that sweet, delicious treat. And now that we have kind of that scene set, I'm thinking about some of the things that I might want to do. So I might want to play in the sand, build a sandcastle with my family, go swimming, eat some snacks. I might want to just float or just let my toes dip in the water. So these are all different things that I might do at the beach with who I'm with my family. So these are all really good, awesome, relaxing tools that I'm going to use to create our guided imagery adventure that we're going to go on right now. Something to think about is if you wanted to pause this, or if you created your own picture and wanted to do your own, is that after you hear how we go about in this next time, you can imagine your own place too. And you can imagine that by creating art about that place. You can imagine that by talking out your own guided imagery and going to that place, answering these questions for yourself. You can really be transported somewhere else. So what I'm going to ask you all to do now, which is a little bit different, a little bit silly, is know that we're going to go on our paper airplanes. Go ahead and, if you're laying down or sitting down, maybe just close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that, and relax. You want your hands at your side, your feet on the ground. Just kind of relax. And as you're relaxing, feel your muscles kind of loosening up a little bit. Let go of any tension that you're holding. Loosen up your shoulders. If you have your fists clenched, loosen those up. Unscrunch your face. Feel your eyelids relax. And just kind of go from head to toe, loosening each of your muscles. Shake out your legs a little bit. Make sure you're not clenching those. And continue to relax. As you're getting comfortable and sinking into that relaxing feeling, imagine you're hopping on your airplane and you are landing and you are transported to your beach adventure. So as you're walking up to the beach with your family, you have your beach tools in hand, a bag full of towels, snacks, sunscreen, anything that you might need. You step onto the sand and it feels a little bit hot. You quickly run along the sand to get to that cool water in the distance. You toss your bag on the sand as you run past, so it's enough away from the water so that it stays nice and dry, and you dip those toes in. It feels so cold and refreshing. After you're in there for a couple minutes, you realize, okay, I'm cooled off enough. I'm gonna go set up my beach towel and my beach toys and things like that so that I can just enjoy my day at my imaginary beach vacation. You find a nice spot overlooking some palm trees and shake your blanket or your towel out so you have a nice surface to sit on. You grab your sunscreen out and you feel its nice coldness as it gets rubbed onto your skin to protect you from the sun. It feels kind of slimy. It smells so specific. And you're excited to just get that rubbed in and all relaxed so that you can go and take a dip in the water again. Because right now you can feel that warm sun beating on you. It feels so good and inviting. but you're really excited to go in the water for a dip. The weather's warm. It's hot, but not too hot. You're still comfortable and excited to be at the beach with your friends and family. You decide since there's a nice breeze, you might spend some time making a sandcastle first. So you grab your sand tools, your sand toys, your buckets, your shovels, and you go over to an area a little bit away from your blanket and your towel and start to create a sandcastle. Your family is there to help. You feel the gritty, kind of grainy sand within your hands as you pat the sand into the bucket and create a castle. Step by step, you build this awesome, enormous sandcastle that at some point in time you might decide you want to knock down. Since you're covered in sand, you're ready to go for a swim in the water. You run up to the beach or walk slowly, whatever you feel like you want to do to go and get into the water. You might have a floaty. It might just decide to stay in the shallow end. Whatever you want to do, you just go ahead and you take that adventure into the water. Once you touch the water, you feel immediately refreshed. Submerging yourself in water feels so good, and you're excited to just play with your family there. So imagine for a couple minutes what you might do and what it might feel like to be laying in the water, sitting in the water, standing in the water, and playing with your family. You hear some laughing, some waves crashing. You even hear a seagull in the distance as you're playing. You're having so much fun. Finally, you finish your game, you finish playing, and you realize, oh, I want to go dry off and maybe have a snack to finish off this wonderful, awesome beach day. So you go ahead and you walk up to your towel, dry off, get some of that sand that stuck to your feet off, and sit down in a beach chair or on the towel to have a popsicle or an ice cream treat. It's enjoyable, it's tasty, it's sweet. Imagine your favorite flavor. That's what your parents brought you. That's what your family brought you, or even if you're there with your friends, that's what they brought you to have. It's so refreshing, and you feel so refreshed and relaxed from an exciting day at the beach. So after a couple deep breaths, what I'm going to ask you guys to do now is to slowly open your eyes if you haven't already. Shake out some of your muscles and start to wake yourself up slowly. Look around the room, see where you are now, and reorient yourself with the space you're at. Welcome back from your little beach mind vacation. So obviously today we did a beach relaxation. One that we came up with all of the different things that we might see there all on our own. Some of you might have even made a picture of what you might be seeing there. And this is something that you can do anytime from anywhere, just with a couple questions that you can ask yourself. So I'll remind you, if you wanted to take an imaginary vacation anywhere, if you're stuck cooped up somewhere, if you're feeling kind of bored, we can always use our imaginations to take us to somewhere else. This can be really good if you're feeling kind of sick or maybe in some pain, as a good distraction to take yourself out of that experience. So what you can do is always, if you wanted to draw a picture, if you didn't have anyone there to kind of tell the story with you, is to just imagine, where do I want to go? What do I want to do there? What's the weather going to be like? And who am I going to be with? Those are those first couple questions. Then you're going to think about your 5 senses. What am I going to see? What am I going to hear? What am I going to feel? What am I going to smell? And what am I going to taste? Those last couple ones, they sound kind of silly, but when you thought about it, when we were thinking about this imaginary beach vacation we just took, the things that make it feel so real is that when we think about what it's going to feel like to get that sunscreen on or to take a dip in the water, or what it's going to smell like when you smell that breeze, or what it's going to taste like when you taste that ice cream treat. So those are really good senses to kind of help transport you out of where you're at right now to somewhere else really fun and exciting. So I hope you all enjoyed your paper airplane making, traveling adventure, and guided imagery. And I hope you guys use this skill and this fun art activity to do with your family and your friends anywhere you're at. Super fun activity to even do on your own as well. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email at kkopale@cancersupportcenter.org or visit our website at cancersupportcenter.org. Thank you.